fuck's good, my guys? It's been a while since you heard me. It's been a while since I did a voiced video commentary. Fucking don't ask me why. I was just not in the mood. But today is a special occasion. Not really, but my semester starts again tomorrow, and I'll be fucking pretty busy and preoccupied with university stuff. And before that all goes down, I wanted to make this video that I've been planning for a hot minute and never really got around to doing. I don't know why, but it just never happened. I'm a bit lazy when it comes to that, but it's time, finally. My top 10 favorite levels in GD. I have a few honorable mentions, and by a few, I mean like almost 20, I think, maybe even a bit more. I'm gonna run through them pretty quickly. Don't want to spend too much time just on the honorable mentions. Yeah, I'm just gonna run through them, starting off with Bungalora by Rick Lemag, which is a flower-themed level. Amazing theming, the song's great, the design is pretty fantastic and incredibly consistent. Only critique I would maybe have is the gameplay at around 50. There's a duel that isn't the hardest thing in the world. It's quite easy actually, but it's a bit harder in comparison. But that's just nitpicking. It's a great level. Next up is Times New Roman by Nitro, which is a very abstract, weird and psychedelic level with a pretty cool song, and the design also perfectly fits the song throughout. It's pretty, I would say, unorthodox at times, but not too weird to the point where like it becomes unplayable or anything. It's a good mix of being avant-garde and still, I guess, normal enough to make for an amazing playing experience. Next up, A Daydream Journey by Azertop, legendary level, also legendary lag. My PC isn't the worst, but it lags a lot, even at the beginning, and don't even get me started on the boss fight. That's just a whole nother story. I mean, it's a legendary level. Most, if not everyone who played in like early 2.1, I think is when it came out, knows the level. Yeah, it's fantastic. Then we have Industrialized by Mersu, and this is not the last time that Mersu will appear on this list. Grade 1.9 level follows an industrial theme, if that wasn't obvious already. And considering the restrictions and limitations of 1.9, I think that theme is executed near perfectly. I don't know how far Majako had developed their style at this point, but I would bet money on the fact that Majako and Mersu were the two that really kickstarted this whole core decoration style, maybe along with Lugia. And I think this level is definitely one of the finest in the style of core. Then we have Escape by Girly Ale 02. Really crazy, no pun intended, because it uses the song Crazy by Creo. Really crazy, dynamic, always moving, but never in a way that makes the gameplay worse. Like, it's never unsight readable. It's always welcoming of the player, which I highly appreciate. Then we have Synapse by Chaos and More, which is a legendary mega collaboration featuring creators such as Triaxis, Skitten, Serpunch, Sunnet, and more, using the song Synapse, which is also one of my favorites in GD. I've used it a few times. Very varied. There isn't really a coherent theme, I would say, but that works to its advantage, in my opinion. It has been one of my favorites and definitely one of the finest 2.0 levels to have ever come out. Then we have Neela by Pencil Dog, which is a bit of an unfortunate case because the design is second to none. It's maybe my second favorite design level in the game, but the gameplay is abhorrent. I mean, 1 out of 10 doesn't even begin to express how unfathomably bad this gameplay is. If the gameplay was a bit better, this would have easily made it into the actual top 10. In fact, a very early draft of the top 10 actually had this level fairly high up, but you know, playing it again and again, just I couldn't put it on. Then we have a legendary level that I was actually surprised was not more popular than it is. I think it stands at not even 60,000 downloads, and that is Permafrost Caverns by Anubis, legendary creator. Most, if not all, players who've played the game for at least a couple of years will have come across many of his levels. But Permafrost Caverns, I was very surprised to learn, was not one of his more popular levels, which is a bit surprising because it's by far his best in my opinion. The gameplay is good, challenging, but good, never unfair. The theming is second to none. Yeah, I just don't understand why it's not more popular, I guess. Then we have Delphic Dive by Super Mario XX. The song and the gameplay and the decoration, they just work incredibly well. And I also don't think that it's as popular as it should be, which is a bummer because it's a fucking fine level. So if you want a really good easy demon, definitely go check that out. Then we have Psychosis by Heinz, which is legendary. I don't really need to say much more about it. Night Terrors, also by Heinz, which again, I don't really need to say anything about. You all know it. You maybe love it, maybe you don't. I certainly love it. Then we have Kid Smoke by GD Samuel, a very abstract and weird level inspired by Radiohead artwork, partially. Not the most well-known level, but one of the finest. Then a slight curveball. We have Wave Layout 7 by Coombs. I highly recommend, if you don't know about the Wave Layout series by Coombs, play the Wave Layout series. Coombs just has the ability to create incredibly satisfying and downright addicting wave gameplay. I mean, I've replayed these levels in the series many times. It's great. They're phenomenal levels. Then we have Endorphin Rush by Taman and A Sonic Man. Really, again, I don't need to say much more about it. It's a legendary level, a legendary collaboration, one of the best easy demons, one of the most satisfying gameplay experiences you'll ever have. Then we have 2 levels by Presta, NSE and Sightless. NSE is a collaboration with someone whose name I forgot. I'll put it on the screen right now. And Sightless is, I believe, their first solo level and also their first raid. And both of these are amazing for different reasons. Sightless has just one of the best synergies between song and design, and Sightless is definitely the one that you should check out if you want like a good introduction to Presta as a creator, if you haven't played any of their levels. We have 2 more levels, being Cool Alien level by Viat, which in terms of world building, it's definitely one of the best that I've ever seen. It's a level about exploring an alien planet, and they really get that feeling across perfectly. And then I had to include it, Call Me Pretentious, but it's In the Radiator by Wallace. One of the best aged levels, one of the best aged messages, and just one of the best messages in a GD level ever, in my opinion. I can only applaud and respect Wallace for this level. I get the criticism, and to be completely honest, no, it's not the most enjoyable level to play, but it's also not a level that is designed to be played, if you get what I mean. It's not a level that tries to be as fun as possible or do anything other than get a message across. So yeah, In the Radiator by Wallace, the final honorable mention. Right, now it's time to get into the actual top 10, which I'm very excited about. I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let's get straight into it after a sip for my Sprite. At number 10, we have Labnity by Joe2K, which, before anyone says anything in the comments, I do get that it's maybe not the most original level of all time, especially the pre-drop is obviously very inspired by Toxton Lab. The background at the drop is also it's a bit dated. It was used in basically every other 2.0 level, but why I love Labnity so much is the gameplay mainly. I think the gameplay is one of the finest that I've ever played. It's very consistent. I love how it flows. I love it especially in combination with the song Dignity by Duo Core, which is also one of my favorite songs in GD. I really love it. It's not flawless by any means. Some of the pre-drop or the very first click, you have to do a pretty sudden and decently precise ship click, especially if you're not the most skilled player. It can maybe take you like 4 or 5 attempts before you actually pass it, and then maybe you die somewhere, then you have to do it again, try for maybe 4 or 5 attempts or maybe more until you pass it, and only then do you get another chance at the level. That's definitely a bit of a flaw, but overall, I mean, it doesn't hinder the level too much from just being an overall enjoyable experience. The pre-drop is definitely much weaker, but yeah, Labnity, my number 10, quite the amazing level. Then for number 9, now this is a seminal level and definitely one of the most legendary medium demons, just demons in general, from the 2.0 era. That is Verity by Sir Punch. What this level did, I mean, my god, it completely revolutionized effect levels. I mean, Sir Punch is insane. We all know what that man is capable of. But Verity, in context of the update it came out, was insane. Absolutely ridiculously insane. The song, first of all, whenever I hear it now, I think back to 2.0, to a very specific time in my life. The gameplay is near flawless. It's not completely flawless. The last duel and the last ship, they still bug me. I still can't one attempt Verity on a rebeat because I always end up dying at least once or twice to the last ship or the last duel. Just that whole section is stupidly difficult. It works with a bit of practice, but still, considering how easy the rest is, it slightly irks me. And that is actually the reason why this isn't that much higher on the list, even though it very well could have been much higher. That just keeps it from being that level, you know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. Regardless, man, Verity is one of the best levels of all time, and that's just a fact. I mean, you wouldn't really come across anyone who doesn't think Verity is at least a very good level, and that speaks volumes. Next up, now this is a bit of a controversial opinion because we have Solar Circles by Dark Griff. This level is beyond flawed. There are very, very obvious design errors. The gameplay, especially in the second half of the wave, is pretty lazy. The first cube also isn't the best gameplay GD has ever seen by any stretch of the imagination. The whole level is weird, I guess, but it has a charm to it. It has the nostalgia factor. When I play Solar Circles, though I may not have the absolute best time of my life in terms of the gameplay experience, just being there in that level, I don't know, elicits some very, very strong positive feelings from me. I mean, you have the song, first of all, which is so warm and so orange, and then the design complementing that is just beyond me. I mean, that's enough to land this level at least on the honorable mentions list, right? The design in combination with the song. First of all, it's all very messy, but it's the good kind of messy. You have these spiky sphere type decoration around the orbs and just in the air everywhere, which just looks so damn cool, right? And then you have this bright, almost yellowy orange beginning section, which transitions into this very deep orange wave, and it's all complemented by the song. And at that point, the gameplay becomes less important than the overall atmosphere. And this is what makes a level good, in my opinion. It's being able to envelop you in its atmosphere and keep you there, right? And Solar Circles does that for me. I mean, it's weird putting it above a level like Verity and on the same list as some of the levels that are coming up. It almost feels like cheating, but I don't regret putting it on here. I mean, I genuinely love that level. So it's a bit of a weird pick, I will admit, but I mean, that it is how it is, man. Next up, we have a level whose creator was already mentioned in the honorable mentions, and this is not their last appearance on this list, so they have 2 entire levels in this top 10, and I'm talking about Adrift by Taman. This is one of the most fun levels I've ever played, and it's a 3-star. You have a nice wave, you have a decently fun, actually many decently fun ship sections. The cubes are pretty fun, and you know, just managing to make a 3-star this fun with that level of decoration. And again, it's the atmosphere. I mean, you have the song, which is phenomenal, very calm. You have the design that perfectly complements the song, this whole submarine, this aquatic ambience. It's unreal. I mean, genuinely, I have nothing but respect and admiration for Taman, and this level is exactly the reason why. I mean, Jesus, dude, it's a flawless level. I have nothing to complain about, which is why I said putting Solar Circles on this list is a bit not disrespectful to the other levels, but feels a bit weird, right? You have something as perfect and ridiculously flawless as Adrift juxtaposed by something like Solar Circles, which has entire sections of blocks just missing. But yeah, that's the beautifully confusing thing about art, I guess. Next up, a behemoth, also from the 2.0 update, Lonely Travel by Funny Game. Everyone and their mom knows and has played this level, I'm sure, for good reason. I mean, Lonely Travel was not only the level that created the travel trend, which is still ongoing. I would say it's definitely not as popular nowadays as it used to be, but it's not as prevalent as maybe the 9 circles trend was, or fucking, I don't know, any other trends. I mean, it was a pretty big trend at a certain point in time, and Lonely Travel started that, and Lonely Travel in and of itself is the best travel level in my opinion. Super varied, but keeping a consistent theme. Has some of my favorite sections in any level. The song is beautiful, and again, this is a reoccurring theme. A flawless level or a memorable level has a perfect synergy between song and design. Always. You can't not have the synergy and expect your level to stick. You have to have perfect coordination between song and design. Lonely Travel is one of the finest examples of that working perfectly. That's all there really is to say. I mean, what else would you say about Lonely Travel that hasn't been said already? I mean, this level was everywhere, and its effects can still be felt in the community today, right? It's one of Funny Games' many revolutionary levels, and for that reason it lands itself on this list. And now we get to a level that I have not beaten, Lit Fuse by Kermal, and I tried for a bit to beat it. I did drop to 100, I did a few good runs from somewhere in the first cube to the jewel, but ultimately, I mean, the pre-drop is a snooze fest. Let's just say it like it is. I do not like the pre-drop. It's very boring to play. The ship isn't much better. It's also pretty boring to play. The jewel, I can at least give some points to its creativity, and because it is at least more fun to play than the first cube and the ship. But where this level really shines, both in terms of gameplay, decoration, and of course the aforementioned synergy, the coordination between song and design, it's the drop, man. I mean, it's surreal, it's sublime, it's psychedelic. Use whatever words you want. I mean, you can't even get close to describing how beautiful the drop of Lit Fuse is. The gameplay, first of all, let's get that out of the way. Good. Not amazing, but good. Definitely good. Good enough to where I have replayed Drop to 100 multiple times just to take in that decoration, but also because, you know, the gameplay isn't bad. I mean, you wouldn't go out of your way to watch a video of Lit Fuse when you could just play the Drop to 100, you know what I mean? Or some levels for me, for example, Sunset Sandstorm. Visually stunning, but I can't play it. It's way out of my skill range. So I would much rather watch a video of someone beating Sunset Sandstorm because I wouldn't get far. With Lit Fuse, it's easy enough so that you can actually do Drop to 100 if you put in a few attempts in practice, and that makes you more inclined to actually play the level for yourself instead of just watching a video. Experiencing the level through a playthrough is so much more rewarding, but I digress. Lit Fuse, I mean, it has one of the best songs in GD. Coca-Cola is ridiculous. I mean, what a gifted producer. The gameplay, as I said, I mean, it's good. It's fine. I like it. The design, don't even get me started. I mean, that's an 11 out of 10. I really wish the first half of the level wasn't as boring. I might try to go for it one day, but Lit Fuse, my god, what a level. Now we get to a decision that I had to make that I didn't really want to make. It was a decently hard decision to make because I had to choose between two levels, and I wish I could have just put them both at number 3, but that's not how it works with a top 10, unfortunately. And so I had to put one level at number 4. Both levels are amazing, both shaped me as a creator. They're both incredibly important. One's definitely more popular, but you know, that doesn't really play a big role in how I place these levels. And the level that I ended up choosing for number 4 was Dahlia by Castrix. Once again, I'm a broken record, but the beautiful synergy between the song and the decoration, beautiful, my goodness, wow. It features the song Enduring by Geoplex, was one of my favorite producers, and I mean, when I tell you that this level is maybe the most uplifting and hopeful and positive and inspiring level that I've ever played, I mean it. And I urge you, if you have not yet played this level, please do yourself the favor, play the level. I wish I could play it again for the first time, to have my memory wiped of this level, because I was in awe, I was mesmerized by just what Castrix had done. Transition from the pre-drop into the drop with you going through all these clouds, and then just the glow. It's a very glow heavy level, but it works perfectly. This is one of the few instances where the more the better. Words really can't do it justice, and this will be a reoccurring theme for the top 3, but my god, it's another one of those levels that I can honestly say is perfect. The gameplay, I mean, it's a 6-star if I remember correctly, so the gameplay isn't the most click intensive or fast paced. It's decently slow at times, but the drop is great. The sync at the drop is pretty great. For a 6-star, it's by far one of the most fun experiences in terms of gameplay you'll ever have, and potentially a life-changing experience if you have not played this level yet. I genuinely stand by that. It's beautiful beyond belief. I applaud Castrix for having created this masterpiece. Fun fact, I'm actually friends with Castrix' old account, Coral YouTube on GD. Funny random fact that you now know. So hey Castrix, if you want to friend me on your real account, hit me up, you know how it is. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, Dahlia by Castrix, just downright stunning. That's all I have to say. And now for the level that managed to take the number 3 spot. It's In Silico by Rafer. Probably the coldest take in all of GD to say that a Rafer level is one of the best, and there's a good reason for that. I mean, Rafer is one of the most innovative, one of the most consistent and competent creators out there, and I could have in theory chosen many different Rafer levels. I was thinking about Tempest, I was thinking about Sky Tower, I was thinking about Flight 2, but ultimately, I mean, In Silico is the one that I have the strongest bond with. I played it for the first time during the initial lockdown, actually, in April of 2020, and replaying the level always catapults me back to that time, which isn't the reason this level is on this list, but that's just a nice anecdote and just shows how impactful the level was to me. You have ridiculously dynamic gameplay, the decoration, again, perfect. There's nothing to criticize, really. Maybe the last 10% or something in terms of gameplay are a bit messy, maybe, but I didn't die there more than once, I think. So it's manageable. The duel at 58, I think, that's a bit tricky. I definitely died there a couple of times. I didn't know what to do there exactly. It was always sort of RNG, I guess. But I mean, it's fine. It doesn't impact the level in a negative way. So it's fine, right? In my opinion, the best demon in the game, one of the best levels in the game, and Rafer's undisputed masterpiece. Now we're at the last 2, and this is actually a similarly close race as 3 and 4, because both of these levels are incredibly important to me as a creator for different reasons. One is definitely on this list because of the gameplay, and one is on this list because of the design. So my gut instinct said one thing, then I kept bringing up counter arguments, like, but it's more fun to play, but the design isn't as good, but the replay value is much higher. Yeah, but this level has such a great atmosphere, and yada yada yada. So I ended up settling on the gameplay level at 2, and the gameplay level is Acceleration by Taman. Perfect 10 out of 10 gameplay, no flaws. Every second of this level is beyond fun. The sync, the dynamics, the duels, the coins. I replayed this level at least 50 to 60 times, which maybe doesn't seem much, but you have to take into account that I also play a shit ton of other levels daily, but still going back time and time again and just replaying it because it's so damn fun. That's the biggest compliment you can give a level, in my opinion, and Acceleration deserves all that and more. The gameplay, again, ridiculously fun. The song, so good. The decoration, it's clean, doesn't obstruct your vision. The structures are nice and unique and complement the gameplay. I could go on, but then this video would be the length of a video essay, and I don't want that just yet. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Acceleration by Taman, the most fun level in the game. And now for the best looking level in the game, my number 1 level of all time, which has been my number 1 ever since I first played it. I want to say in like early to mid 2015, a couple of months before 2.0 came out, was when I first played this, and it's Your Prelude 2 by Mersu, which is a sunset style level, meaning the entire decoration is black in various opacities, and the only thing that illuminates level is the background, and it's exploring a post-apocalyptic city or just a landscape. And when I tell you that the atmosphere in this level is unbeatable, I mean it. You gotta keep in mind this is 1.9 we're talking about. The first installment was already great, but Your Prelude 2 takes it up several notches. I've not fallen out of love with this level. It's 3-star, and it's not a fun 3-star, which is why I was debating maybe put Acceleration at the top, because it is miles more fun. But Your Prelude 2 has that it factor, similar to how Solar Circles just has that atmosphere that pulls you in and doesn't let go, that forces you to stay inside the level. Your Prelude 2 has exactly that, but 20 times stronger. It's wow. It's one of the levels that got me into a very detail-heavy style of decoration. I remember making multiple levels that were inspired by especially Your Prelude 2, and it shaped me as a creator. I can only applaud it for that. Sadly, Mersu has quit GD since. The last level they uploaded is called Sneak Peek, I believe, which features a 2.0 take on the core style. It's a great level. I would have loved to see it finished, but sadly we probably won't get a finished product of that, which is a bummer, but what can you do? Yeah, Your Prelude 2, my favorite level in the game by a decently comfortable margin, purely because the design and the atmosphere is just beyond great. And that's it for the video. I apologize for the length and maybe slurring some words. I'm not that used to talking for longer periods of time or just talking for videos, but I figured doing this without voice would be very boring. Just reading text off screen, I certainly wouldn't want to sit through that. So I said, fuck it, let's bring out the mic again. And here we are. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe found some new levels that you are inclined to check out now. Leave some love in the comments of these levels. Maybe tell them you came from this video. Do whatever you like. And yeah, hope you have a nice day, nice morning, nice evening. Maybe you're about to go to sleep. In that case, have a good night. If not, thank you for watching, and until sometime.